Welcome to this year's She Means Business program. My name is Caroline Mutiso, founder and CEO of HerHustle. 2021 was a resounding success, having trained over 4,000 young women entrepreneurs on our She Means Business program. This year, HerHustle has partnered with Meta, Strathmore University, and IBIS Africa to bring you the 2022 She Means Business program, where we're looking to train over 7,500 young women entrepreneurs. I myself am extremely excited and proud to be associated with the She Means Business program, and hope all of you who will be joining us as the registrants every Thursday and Friday between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. will be able to pick at least one or two things that you can use to help your business grow. We're also extremely excited to announce that every Saturday we will be having our business resilience sessions with renowned business speakers. I hope that everyone who has registered is looking forward to learning a thing or two to help their businesses in growing and establishing an online presence. And we hope the She Means Business program continues to impact young women entrepreneurs and other people like yourselves. I hope we all have a great time. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. I hope everyone can hear me. Good morning. So my name is Joanne Kirimi. I am an advocate by profession, and I'm super excited to be here today. Yeah. And for guys who are online, I'm excited to see you remotely. So today we're going to be talking about business and the law. And I know sometimes when people hear law, they're usually very panicked. And I don't know how guys think of lawyers, but oftentimes the perception of a lawyer is some scary being with a lot of English. Am I correct? Is that the sense I'm getting? Yeah. Oh, you see, they look at us and think, yeah, like we're some, three-horned beast or something. But yeah, so I am, and I'm excited to be interacting with people in business because I serve people in business. I am a commercial lawyer, so I interact a lot with corporate commercial issues, and so I'm excited to be here today to walk you through some of these things. So yeah, business and the law. I don't know if everyone can see the slides, but for those who are here, we're going to cover some of these issues. So business journey, business and the law, legal considerations for business, separation, contracts, legal rights and responsibilities. And hopefully at the end of the session, you'll have some questions which I can answer. So knowing that I'm talking to business people, I would love some interaction, some engagement, even for guys who are online. I'm sure you can send over your responses, which shall be read to us so that we can engage, and just share. So my first question is, how did you start your business? So I was asking for business people. How did you start your business? So I don't know if everyone's responses can be heard by the guys online, but I hope they can. So how did you start your business, or how do you think a business should start? I think that's an even better question. I'm looking at you, then you. I would love to hear your responses. Do they need the mic as well? They do? Okay, sawa.
Hi, good morning. So my name is Naomi, and the name of my business is Glowceuticals. It's a skincare company. And I started my business very blindly because I just knew I wanted a skincare brand. I did not know where to get someone to do the formulations for me. I didn't know where to start. So blindly, I went in and found someone who would do the formulations for me. And I'm excited to be here with you today because I did something called contract manufacturing. And I have not drafted anything or written anything, yet I am in something called a contract manufacturing. So that's how I started business. and we've manufactured, and I have the products, and they are ready to go into the market. So yes, that's where I'm at. Yes.
Morning. My name is Steven. Yes. Um, I don't have a business at the moment, but you have asked about or how do you think a business should start? So maybe in general, knowledge is that to identify a gap and then your audience so that you know what they need so that you don't just come with a product which maybe might fail. But on the other hand, I would like to venture into selling artwork, but with the idea of trying to solve a gap of I know there is a lot of psychological issue happening with mental health, but how can I use art not only just for making money, but as educating people about mental health and other things to do with I'm a bit philosophical and artistic, so I'll combine both philosophy, art, and psychology into it. So that's the idea. But I'm learning more ideas on how to do that because I don't know even how to use many of these social media things. So I'm learning here. So how to do that? Yes. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Everyone is after me. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Liki. So, how did I start my business? So, basically, I had a restaurant sometime back in 2019. So, it started actually with a talk. I was just talking with my friend, then we were eating food in a restaurant. Then the food wasn't tasting very nice. So, we thought, why can't we do it ourselves? Then the idea began at that point. So, then we thought about the idea very well. Then we went and registered the name. Then we just went through the whole process of business registration and then starting the whole business. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. I can work with the guys online. How did you start your business? Um, I would really love to hear. I've had some really good responses. So, how did you start your business? It's a very important question because it will take us to where we need to go. So, are we getting any responses as at now? So I'll give you some time to think about it, then I'll come back to you. But I'm afraid if I move to the next slide, all of you will be like, yeah, that's how I started my business. But anyway, yeah, just think about it. I'd love to hear your responses, even as I summarize everything that has been said. Or you were to give me a response. Yeah, in fact, her response will buy us some time.
So, hi, good morning. My name is Rosa. I haven't started a business yet. I am thinking of starting something that is going to solve a particular need. So, I think for somebody to start a business, they need to know what they are solving. Is there a gap that you're filling in, or you're just having a business for the sake of, oh, I need some side hustle, sorry, to boost my, my finances up or whatever. But I think for me, for you to even have a biashara, first of all, answer the question, why am I having the biashara? How will it benefit me? How will it benefit the society I will be serving? Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Thank you for all your responses. In the spirit of honesty, vulnerability, and openness, I will also share how I started my business. So I haven't started a business yet, but I have toyed with a few ideas. I'll give you. Maybe someone may steal them, but you know what? Take them. It's okay. You can give me some royalties on my idea. Anyway, so when I was in campus, a group of friends and I, we were like, we want to start a business. Not because we wanted to solve anything, we just wanted to start a business so that we can, have a hustle, So we were like, okay, so guys, what should we do? What are we thinking? And then I really slept on it and I was like, what really can I do? And I thought, I am going to sell swimsuits, like swimming costumes. Okay. And around that time, I don't know what was happening in my life, but I'd really interacted with Nairobi textiles. I was always there. I don't know what I was going through. And so I was like, I'll get my material there. I'll find a tailor. And I sold it to my friends. I'm like, guys, this is what we can do. I know I even have a name, guys. We even had a name. It was a brilliant name. Guess what it was? Can I get drum rolls? Because I feel like this idea was great. The swimsuit line was going to be called Baharini. Listen, we were ready to make that coin. Okay. Um, yeah, so we were like, yeah, Baharini. I hope they're watching because they'll be like, that idea is still alive. But so yeah, we thought Baharini, we're going to have these kinds of swimsuits. And then we just all went quiet. We were like, let's do. Oh, one of our friends decided to do a business name search. For those who've interacted with the business registration services portal, a while back you could just do the name search, alone. Yeah, you didn't have to go through the whole registration. So they put in capital to do the business name search. I think it was 150 per name, and we found, I think the name was fine something, and then it ended there. We never talked about it again. Here I am years later, still not a swimsuit billionaire. It got stuck at idea. Do we have any responses from the online guys? Uh-huh. Affordable and quality products to her customers. Okay. Does she say what line of business or is just products? Okay. All right. Thank you, Janet. That's a really good. I think back to what Rosa said about solving a problem. From what she's indicated, it's like her problem was she was not getting quality and affordable stuff in the market. So she decided, why not source for quality and affordable stuff? So the problem she was solving is quality and cost. Yeah. So if I was to summarize, oh, there's another response. Okay. Watches and shoes, Janet. I don't know if HerHustle allows people to plug their businesses, just tell her to at her online business. She could have a new customer from me for quality and affordability. Yeah. All right. So responses will keep coming in, but we can move on. Oh, great. Okay. Online guys. Woo. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, what's their name? Mercy. The problem she was solving was being jobless, I would imagine. And then, she built up a business around that. That's really good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Sisters High School? Thai, okay. Who? Sorry, Harinda. Her business is Harinda. Wow, guys. Okay, so it started with a tie and then it went on to all these processes. I think this is really her hustle. Okay, this is legit her hustle. All right, for those who just joined us, we're talking about how did you start your business. We are all working from the assumption that one, you are either a business owner or you have thought of starting a business. From the feel of the room, three of us as at now people who thought about a business. I did not go anywhere, but maybe we're playing with that idea. But two have ventured and actually started the business, and two more online have also ventured to start a business. So, because this session is very interactive, I will ask you to tell me, how did you start your business? And I'll hand you the mic. Am I wait for you to settle? Yeah, so how did you, are there more online responses? I like this. I like hearing how people start their business. What you're telling me is that I have hope. Baharini has hope. Okay, that's what you're saying. Baharini has hope. Yes, another response? Sorry? Payments. Okay, she's about to launch. I'm guessing she doesn't want to tell us too much, so that. Okay. Wow. Okay. I hope they just ask them to at their businesses to plug. Hopefully, we'll get a list of all the businesses plugged today, and then we can, you never know, convert some of us.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Abigail. So how did it was a very funny thing at the peak of COVID. That's when I started my business. What happened was I was bored in the house, and I've been doing experiments of baking, and they were backfiring majorly. So I enrolled into a baking school. And after enrolling, I realized I make nice cakes through friends and family. And that's how I started it. Yes.
Hi, my name is Grace Wangeshi. How we started our business. Um, well, I'm a journalist by profession, so I saw some gaps in the communication world, especially in companies, and naturally I gravitated towards marketing. Like I was doing marketing, but I didn't even know it was marketing. And so when I found out that's what marketing is, naturally my heart was more into communications and marketing. And after working with both local brands and international brands, you could see the gap between even the techniques of marketing and all that, but also the communication strategies within the company. And so I think the company culture kind of motivated me to create a. I'm not saying we have bad company culture. I'm just saying we have a lot of improvements to do. And so it really motivated me to have a place where there's a growth culture, but also in terms of marketing, like into the digital marketing space, there's a lot we need to learn here in Kenya. And so that's how we started our digital marketing agency and academy. Yeah.
Is that how you or oh, both of you? Wow. Okay.
Good morning. How I ended up meeting her and finding alignment, I would say I'm an accountant by profession, but after school, I decided to venture into the digital marketing world. So I studied I self-learned digital marketing, looked for an internship, and I've been working internationally. So I just figured out I'm more passionate about digital marketing than accounting, and I really consumed a lot of content around digital marketing and tried to keep up to date with the industry, the social media and all. And it's kind of fun. It's challenging, but it's kind of fun doing that. So, and then I ended up meeting her, and then we figured out we know so much about marketing. And yeah, that's how we came up with our company called Metagy. Metagy. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing. When we started, we lawyers were like, you guys don't have to, we're not all that big and bad and scary. Then you guys are speaking, I'm like, I'm doing nothing with my life. I'm just here for vibes. Anyway, congratulations for starting the business and taking it beyond the idea. Some of us are stuck at idea, but taking it there, working internationally, it's a really, really good idea. Good thing to do. So, in summary, this is what you guys have said. Your business journey started with an idea. So there was the scented candles, the fact that they wanted candles and they could only find them, internationally, nothing locally. You went to a restaurant, you had bad food and thought, yeah, idea. Yeah, you thought, why not just fix this problem? I can't pay for bad food, right? I thought I needed a swimsuit and I was like, why not start a swimsuit company? Okay. You wanted cosmetics. You're like, I want to be, who are the cosmetic brands to, I want to be Fenty, and I thought, hey, idea. You started with an idea. Okay. Then this is where Baharini died. Okay. No, we went to team and partnership. So my idea, I decided, you know what? I need people who can help me execute. So what did I do? I look for people who will be in love with my idea as much as I am. You found each other here at team and partnership. So you identify people who can support you in building your business. So you with the restaurant decided you are with your friend. So you're like, guys, why don't we do something about this problem that we are experiencing? Okay. Then what I'm calling here internal capital raising, of course, with your idea, you start to do the math. You're like, okay, how much will it cost us to, find a space in the name of a restaurant or to find people who can cook? Or if we can cook, what are we cooking? That means groceries, that means all that, right? Candles, you're like, where can I get the candles? How much will it cost to get me the candles, etc. Your idea, I forgot. A problem. Okay, so you'll do the math. Uh-huh. She's talking about pads. Is that? Oh no. Okay, I jumped the gun. Okay, fine. But you see, either way, you'll be thinking capital. How much do I need to? If it's a product, if it's a service, how much will I need to put it all together? Then some people move on to formalization. So again, Bahariri did do all of this. We got to formalization and we had someone do a business name search just to find out if someone else is using Baharini somewhere. I'm sure you, in fact, went on to registration and you first had to do like a name search, just find out what's there, and then proceed to registering. Have you formalized in this form? So you decided to register your company, whatever it is. For the digital marketers in the room, did you register? Have you gone to this level? Yeah, like a company, a partnership. You're getting there. So you're here, right? You stopped here. You're now contemplating how to go to the next level. For the baker in the house, yeah, where are you? Of course, you've done a couple of cakes. Guys have told you the cakes are great. Do you have a company? Have you moved to this stage, or you're thinking about it? Yeah. Uh-huh. Great. The licenses and the permits also fall here. So you're just putting up structures to ensure you can do your business, operate in the environment that you're in, right? And then you start. So in as much as it's going this way, I notice also that some of the stages can be mixed up, right? So someone felt she really needed to get to Fenty. She really needed to get to that level. So she may have skipped a number of things. She may have she may have commenced operations before she found a team or before she formalized. So she found who can manufacture for me, and then you reached out to the manufacturer and you put something together and you have it, and then you're like, I'll backdate, I'll start working back to what needs to be registered, etc. So it can be jumbled up, but ideally most people go at it this way. So you register your company, or whatever, you now have the licenses for a restaurant, you have a lease, etc. And then you now start cooking for people, having customers over, hiring chefs, etc. And then, you're like, my business needs to grow, so I can borrow more money. to make my business grow. It could be from a bank, it could be from friends, etc. But point is, you raise capital externally. The whole point is scalability, so you want your business to grow. So I have another question. Thank you for joining us. Guys online, I have more questions. Today we are talking and asking questions. So, as I said, when I started, I'm a lawyer. So why would a lawyer be talking to business people about business? Surely you should be the ones talking to me about business. So I will ask legal questions. So the first one is, are there any legal issues in your business journey? What we've just talked about, yeah? We've talked about your idea, your team, your capital, formalizing, starting operations, getting capital from outside. Are there legal issues in your business journey? And what are they? Okay? Give you some time to think about it. Because the journey has experiences, it has people you're dealing with, it has things you want to achieve, it has all these moving bits. Are there legal issues in your journey, and what are they? So I'll take the mic round again. I'll start with our restaurateur. Maybe he can tell us what legal issues he faced.
So basically, I'll use a different case because I had another company, a tours company. Yeah. So basically, when I started, I was the partner. So we partnered together. We put the funds together. And then apparently in the journey, I got broke. Yeah. Yeah. So then my partner decided to pull other partners. They came to buy me out. Yeah. Yeah. So we signed I signed everything. We signed the transfer maybe for the new partner. So I signed out of the company, but there wasn't any financial gain on my side up to today. So basically, maybe that's a question to you. Maybe how do I approach that thing? Like, yeah.
Okay, you can pass the mic around. I really want to hear, as I said, business people are teaching me things. So, yeah, so approach, we can talk about that kind of. Okay. Yeah.
I have none at the moment.
No legal issues.
Yeah.
Great. I like that answer. Honest, it's why I'm okay.
I'll give from my experience with previous businesses and what I think.
Serial entrepreneurs. I'm starting to think I'm not an entrepreneur by heart because I have nothing to show for starting a business anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of paperwork. So in terms of agreements, partnerships, percentages, shareholdings. Like for us, we are co-founders, but I do know there's a dynamic that goes in between what percentage of the company do you own and stuff like that. And also because of on the academy side, I know one thing that we will probably be. It's funny because we were talking with the lawyer yesterday. So one of the things I know that will come with the academy is the certification. Are you guys legit? Like, like the school stuff. I don't know those terms. I'm not a lawyer, but yeah. And then now in the terms of the agency, just running the business, I know there's a law that was passed for online businesses. I have no content whatsoever, but I do know if it was passed, something we need to check into. What else? Yeah, I think this one's yeah.
I think, yeah.
Oh, hi. So I'm Faith. I run Sister Locks by Faith. Sister Locks by Faith. I am a Sister Locks loctician. So I mainly think legal issue is copyright. For most clients, they don't like you showing their face when you post your work. You showing their face. Like for example, for her, I have to take. She doesn't like me to show her face when I'm posting, the work. So maybe if I mistakenly post her face, it can create a legal issue. Yeah.
For me, my question would be, like I mentioned, I teamed up with a formulator. When I approached her, I asked, can you do private labeling such that she produces the item for me, I take it and put stickers and sell it, or do you do contract manufacturing? No, she came up with the idea of contract manufacturing. She said she doesn't do private labeling. So now in contract manufacturing, I decide what ingredients will go into my products. Yes, she's manufacturing. However, we haven't signed anything. Now I'm wondering, hatujaandikiana. So in the event this person decides I will not produce for you anymore, na hapo pahali tumefika, is there anything that I can do?
So that's a legal issue. Yeah?
Yes.
If she decides to stop.
Yes, if she decides to stop. Yes. Also, with my product, I would say it's somehow a unique product in the market. Is there a way that I can patent my formulation? Is that a legal question? Illegal issue? Yeah. Is there a way that I can patent my formulation, the one that now she has, much as I gave her the list of ingredients, she's tweaked it in her own way. Can I have that formulation? Can I patent it? And so on. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abigail Koyer. I have 3 businesses. The first one is Ansi Skincare that deals with reselling the ordinary and also coming up with skin routines for different skin. Yeah. And so that one, it's what I do in that company mainly is marketing. So there's a founder. I'm not a partner. So it's a sole proprietor of my friend. So I do marketing for her. Then I also do sell avocados. And then I'm also doing photography. Yeah. So I think I'll ask as per the jobs that I have. Yeah. So for photography, I'm in the process of formalizing a business with two other people. So I'm wondering, will it be an LLC because it doesn't fall under the category of a sole proprietor, and just the processes. Yeah.
So if I can now use that to answer this question, you're saying, how do we formalize? That's a legal issue.
Yeah.
LLC partnership.
Yeah. Yeah, and then because it's going to be a film company, in terms of coming up with the contract for the talent that we'll be using, how do we go about that? And in terms of us as the co-founders, how do we share it out? Yeah. And then another thing is, in the situation where one person breaks away, what happens? And then for the avocado, there's nothing formal. So I just like to know, is there a need to be formal? And then also for my friend's company, what are the measures in terms of copyright, patent, contracts that you write with other companies? Also, when you're outsourcing, is it outsourcing for more finances? The last part that you're saying, how do you go about it using also contracts that will also favor you?
Great. So to convert that to our legal issue, there's a lot of formalization, a lot on relationships that you acquire in the course of your business journey, like talent. We've also talked about their needs to actually now take a shape or a form. And we've also asked about the financing issues sometimes also fall under legal issues because it's governed, I guess. One of the things that will come out in our discussion is that Law is everywhere, law is in every single relation because law just manages relationship. Simple. But you should not be looking at me like someone who is here to make your life hard.
No.
It's really just to tell you this is a relationship, you need to watch out. This is a relationship, you need to see this. That's what essentially I do. Tell me not freelance.
Can I also ask? I've remembered another question. For the film company, when we have been contracted to do work, let's say come up with videos or a film or even just photography, how do you include the copyright price for the images? Because when you are contracted to do work, that money doesn't cover the copyright. Because you see, there are some companies, when you do work for them, they want to own.
On the work that you've done.
Yeah. And then there are some companies think that because you have contracted you, they automatically own, which is not true.
Again, relationship, right? So they are relating with someone else, and that relationship is causing some form of, bringing about some legal issues. Yeah. So we'll just unpack some of them. I honestly, as a legal practitioner, you realize some of these questions are 4 years of knowledge. Yeah. So we may not be able to.
Okay.
Sorry.
What I was saying for the guys who are watching us online, some of the legal questions that you've had are 4 years of legal school, of law school. So we'll try and unpack those that we are unpacking today, but of course I'm willing to take the discussion further. But this is now for HerHustle. We need more legal sessions so that we can just unpack as much as we can and condense as much as the 4 years into into one question or 2 hours. So yeah, I've picked out some of your legal issues. Hopefully some will be addressed forward as we go on. If not, taniona kando. Hiya. Anyone else? Is there someone online who would like to answer this our question?
What he's saying, I have few legal issues I have faced mainly on contracts and agreements.
Okay. So contracts and agreements as legal issues. Okay. That's very, very important. Actually, the scope of our discussion today is importance of contracts, separation, the importance of separation between you and your business and your rights and responsibilities as a business owner. That's the scope of our discussion. So this is just laying the foundation for us to get to that point of our discussion, and hopefully everything you've said will be resolved or covered there. So I know guys have joined us. This session is a lot of questions, a lot of sharing. I am a lawyer, but you're business people, and so we want to exchange our wisdom. Is there someone who'd like to contribute legal issues that they have faced in their business journey? Eventually, all of us will, but I'm just giving an option. I'm just looking nice for now, before I ambush you and say, I want an answer. Yeah? Anyone has that now? Sawa, I'll be back. I'll come back. Oh, okay, great.
What about copyright? Like, let's say I'm posting my items on social media, then someone else uses my photos without my permission. Yeah.
That is a big legal issue. I've seen people. My friends are creatives, and so they post a lot of their work. They're photographers, and occasionally, now and again, I'll get a DM saying, "Help me take down this person's post. They have posted my work." Yeah, so we use the Instagram's dispute mechanism, and we report it and say they have stolen content, before you know it, the post has been taken down. So that's how Instagram resolves some of those issues. But sometimes it's only you who has noticed, or maybe your following is not as aggressive to sort of ask for that kind of a thing. But that is a legal issue because that's your work, that's your face, that's something there belongs to you. Someone has taken it without your permission. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so it's something a friend went through. She runs a business. So let's call it bullying, cyber online bullying, where somebody was commenting negatively about her product or her work and stuff like that? Is there a way you can sue somebody like that? Who does that? Who, like, you come online, she used a fake account, but she knows who the person is, but she's spreading negative information about her work. So is there a way we can sue such a person? Oh, okay.
So sometimes I I would say anything under the sun can be redressed by the law. Anything. The law tries to anticipate as many situations as possible. Where I feel, and in the few years I have interacted with the law, where I feel the challenge comes in is that, yes, you can take someone to court for saying bad stuff about you, for harassing you online, but then there are some legal things you have to show. And I think that's where the fight usually comes in. So it's not enough to say I felt bad. That's why I took someone to court. I felt so bad. They hurt my feelings. When we go to court, you have to show, Aya, this person said something negative about you. Is it true? Is it not true? You know, did other people see it? Okay. How many people saw it? Yeah. Was it about you? Because like easily I could just say, no. Me, I was just saying things. I was just saying things. Wherever it landed, if she thinks it's her, it's fine. Because sometimes it's not at so and so you are like this. Sometimes it's just some people they think. So you have to, when we go to court, those are things you have to show. Like, was it about you? Can the other person say it is true? Maybe they said you are a thief, and they come to court and show there was money here and there was, like, so sometimes the fight is usually, can you meet the legal thresholds when we make some allegations? Can we prove some of these things in court? And that's where a lot of the issues come in, and where you feel maybe the law is not on your side, because it's a whole process. And I'm glad there's another lawyer in the room who's like, yes, there's a whole, process behind it. So, yeah, most of you have said, my favorite answer was no legal issue. I like that, because maybe it now gives me justification to to show you that there are legal issues that maybe you don't think are legal issues. So that was my favorite answer. Also, I'm not saying all of y'all's answers were not great, but that's the one I want to dwell on, because unfortunately or fortunately, depending on where you're sitting, there are many legal issues. I think the rule of thumb is, when there's a relationship, when there's a person, when there's a thing, there's going to be a legal issue. As pertains the thing or the relationship, or there's going to always be a legal issue. Is there a statement, something online? Yeah?
I need to say, I have registered my company name, but I have not yet finished because there's a part a lawyer should sign. The challenge is I'm not in Kenya to look for a lawyer. Can I send it to someone to do it for me, or it's a must for me to be available?
You don't have to be here physically, but I would like to know what, probably more details, though. I would say no, you don't have to be. It depends on what exactly she's trying to achieve, but you don't have to be in the country. I think one of the things that COVID showed us is that you can work from basically anywhere. And luckily also, the law provides for electronic signing of documents, so it's still fine. You can operate from wherever. Yeah, again, I will qualify my answers, because lawyers are always qualifying things, but I will qualify my answers and say it depends. Okay, so it depends on your circumstances, depends on the context. Of course, with more information, we can see what she's saying. Yeah. Hiya. So, are there legal issues in our business journey? What are they? There are legal issues in our journey. So for those who just joined us, this we concluded is the basic journey, basic business journey for everyone, right? So idea, team and partnerships, internal capital, formalization, commencement, external capital, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. So that's the basic journey. But then we asked, are there legal issues? And I think there are legal issues, many legal issues. When it comes to your idea, is your idea lawful? Can you say, I don't know how limited I am in terms of what I am giving as examples, but can I say I want to start a business as a sniper? And I want to register it, Sniper Inc. Limited Kenya. Lawfulness of the idea. Can I start a business and say, this may incite some political rhetoric, but can I start a business selling weed? Is it a lawful idea as at now? Huh? Lawfulness of your idea. You realize that if your idea is not lawful, there's nowhere you're going with it. Yeah, that's a legal issue. So can our baker, can you bake stuff and just decide what you're going to put there? Can you decide to put, you're going to purely be baking with expired things? You know, so is that a great idea? It's not. So because also it's not lawful, right? Also the issue, I'm surprised no one said confidentiality. No one said that, you know, they want to protect their idea. No one, you guys just go give your ideas to anyone. Like now I've given you Baharini, but I've decided, also for those who have just joined us, I once wanted to be a swimsuit mogul. Okay, I wanted to start a swimsuit line in the name of Baharini. So I've given you that idea, right? I've said it out there. Will I feel a ways if someone starts a Baharini? There's evidence that it was my idea. But so how do we protect our idea? You know, when I share it with you, how do I protect my idea, right? Can ideas even be protected? It's just an idea, and we are billions of people in this world. You want to tell me you're the only one with that idea? So can we protect ideas, as great as they may be? So that's a legal issue. The law contemplates a situation where you could say, it's my idea, and I want some sort of safeguards. Whether you can get it is a different conversation. Now we go to team and partnership. Again, confidentiality. So you do some workshopping for people. You just tell this one your idea. You gauge whether they accept it. Then you're like, hey, who you? This one may not help me. Then you go to another person and say, okay, so this is my brilliant idea. Then they're like, oh, I like it. Then a few days later, you see, selling candles. You're like, but that was my idea, you know? So again, there are some issues here in terms of, you know, how someone else can use your idea. That's a legal issue. Ownership. Someone talked about shares, your stake in the company, the responsibilities. So say your partners, someone is bringing in money, the other person is bringing in expertise. That's part of this stage, yeah, where you're identifying people who you can work with. You're identifying people who can add value to your idea, right? So I hope we're seeing the legal issues as we go, because they are legal issues. So as long as there's a thing like this pen, just this, there's a legal issue here. As long as it's you, a person, there's a legal issue. As long as there's a thing you want to do, it's a legal issue. There is a legal issue there. When we want money, say you have a wealthy friend, you're like, so now I have this great idea. I want to start a cosmetics line or, you know, a skincare line. I need some money because I don't have X amount of money. That's a legal issue. What if they say, okay, I'll give you that money. Then they give you stolen money. That's a legal issue. Or they give you money, then you decide to use it for a holiday. It happens, no? That's a legal issue. Under capital raising. Or we say, fine, for those who know a bit more, we'll have shares. You bring in 20,000 Kenya shillings, and that will entitle you to 20 shares. And I bring in 10,000, that entitles me to 10 shares, right? What if we agree, we say that's the case, and I don't give you the 20,000? So we rely just on your 10,000 to start the business off, and it runs and it becomes a multi-billion-dollar, business. What happens there? That's all that's a legal issue when you're raising capital, when you're finding resources. When you formalize, that's the most common one. I've had people talk about companies, LLCs, partnerships. Lawyers are a bit anal about, with regards to the definitions of those terms. So we don't say things like, I'm a partner in a company. It's like, no, you're not. You have to decide what you are, and it is not that. So we're a bit picky about the language, but we all get the concept. There's an entity, there's a thing right? And we're trying to fit our operations within that thing, that legal thing. So someone has mentioned registrations. Business permits and licenses are part of the formalization of your business. You're not just cooking out of your kitchen and that's it, and you're giving to friends. Now you're selling. So you have to meet certain health codes and requirements, right? That's still part of this process. Commencement of operations, things like decision making. How do you make decisions? I'm glad there are people who work together here. How do you make your decisions? Can she overrule yours? Can you overrule hers? How do you decide? That's a legal issue. If she decides one day to take money from your company and go on holiday or buy something for the company that you don't think should be bought, God forbid it goes, it goes the way it goes, it backfires. What happens? Who blames who for what? Yeah. If there's a relationship in your business, that's a legal issue. Relationships with customers. Say you sell me a product, it burns off my skin. Can I come back to you and say, you burnt off my skin? That's a relationship that needs management, a legal issue. These examples are grim. And when I started, I said maybe lawyers look like, three-horned beasts. And so maybe the examples are fortifying that. But I hope you're getting where we are going. Yeah. Contracts. You mentioned contracts and agreements with manufacturers, with suppliers, with employees. Someone else has started the business. You're doing the marketing. Are you an employee? Are you a consultant? That's a legal relationship, right? That needs some form of management. Intellectual property, there was a lot about that. Copyright, trademark, patents, those are legal issues, because intellectual property is who owns what. And the way we have land, we have a desk, we have a pen, and it's easy to be like, that's mine. There's also your ideas, how you came up with something, what you have created. That's intellectual property. We can't touch it per se. It's there. It's the fruit of your mind, of your thinking, of this. Yeah. So there are so many legal issues. And it's when you start to see that, you start to think about your business differently. You start to think of your business from the perspective of what is going right, what could go wrong, what is yet to happen that I need to contemplate. Yeah. We're good. Yeah. Everyone take a deep breath, even the guys online. It's not so hard. It's not so hard, guys. It's just law. It's something light. Hiya. Is there anything online that's some contribution towards this? Nothing. Sawa. So I want to do a quick pop survey. So I didn't put in the numbers. I'm just warning you, but I'll explain the survey. If you have a piece of paper or something, it would be good just to write what I'm about to say, and then you give it to your neighbor, and then they'll tell me what you've thought. This is our survey. Aya. This is one, very difficult. Unnecessary is 2, boring is 3, okay is 4, great is 5. Okay. What do you think about lawyers? Okay, so no, yeah, the scale is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The scales you see for very good, not good, those ones. Yeah. So what do you feel about the law? When someone says law, do you feel it's very difficult? Do you feel it's unnecessary? Do you feel it's boring? Do you feel it's okay? Do you feel it's great? Maybe because I'm on the other side, I'm like, great, What do you think about lawyers? Con man, wakora, right? Suspicious, that's 2. 3, I don't care. Lawyer or no lawyer, whatever. 3, okay, occasionally. 4, that is, oh yeah, okay, fine. Besties, lawyer, best friends. Hiya, do you have somewhere to write? I want to, or do you want to, we sample like that? Yeah? Sawa. We start here. Okay. We start this way. Okay. Let's start with someone whose answers I suspect I know.
I'm gonna be biased because I'm a lawyer. I love the law. I mean, we are besties.
Besties.
Yes.
What do you think about lawyers?
Besties. Yeah.
What do you feel about the law?
Very, very great.
No, it's not even on the scale.
very great. Yeah.
For me, I think about the law as great, but unfortunately for lawyers, I'm saying, can you all hear me? Oh, okay. Okay. For law, I think it's great. Then for lawyers, unfortunately, it's conman or suspicious because, okay, maybe it's because, yeah, maybe it's because of the fact that I've seen, not experienced personally, but I've seen from close friends, lawyers being bought out and them losing. So yeah.
Okay. Felt a knife going. Sorry, is someone online? Yeah. Someone is saying necessary. Oh, that's not even the skill, but great. So for the law or lawyer. For the law. Law necessary. So they are somewhere necessary but confusing. Okay, that's an honest. Thank you.
Uh, about the law, I think it's okay
Okay.
because there's some protection that comes within the law. About lawyers,
I'm ready with the knife.
Rosa, suspicious.
Okay.
For me, what I feel about the law, I'll say it's okay because, as she has said, it's a protective factor. Yeah. Then about the lawyers, suspicious because you have to be keen, you have to be detailed. Yeah.
Like you're being, you know.
Yes.
Okay.
So about the law, I'd say it's okay. Because I mean, for you to operate in any industry, you need law. Like you need the law, even like if it's the country or whatever. And about lawyers, I'd say okay still, because they can protect your business. Even like from suppliers, vendors, even employees, when you have any disputes. Yeah. So I think that's okay.
Okay, great.
For lawyers, I'll pick two. I'll say okay because we need not like law. Sorry, I'll say okay because we need regulations for us to cohabit peacefully. I will say boring because it has so much. I think that's why so many people are never really concerned or interested with it so much because it's so bulky. Yeah, for you to comprehend all of that, you need to have that passion, like you to do. Uh, okay, so about lawyers, I will go for suspicious because we are not at par. You have so much information that I don't, so I can't really trust you as much because you can also use the information you have against me. And also, as somebody else has stated, sometimes wanaweza kucheza, like if the others are bought out and stuff like that. So with lawyers, I'm suspicious.
I'm glad about the honesty. Much different.
So with law, I would say it's been boring until today. You're kind of making it interesting.
I'm done. Thank you so much for your time.
So I would say I wouldn't really have been concerned or would want to put passion into understanding the business law. But if you're doing the classes, I'm quite interested. And then for lawyers, yeah, suspicious. I have trust issues. Like, generally.
Um, about the law, I'd say okay, because I'm a business person. I definitely need the law, but also unnecessary. I just think, no offense, you guys use too many words. I'm just like, get to the point. So, for real. But what I think about lawyers is interesting. I think besties, because I I think with that, if you get, okay, the lawyers may have gotten a good, and if you have a lawyer, you've solved half of your problems. So yeah, besties.
About the law, I am okay about it but also the unnecessariness of information on a piece of paper. Yeah, I've ever read an NDA and it was too wordy. Like it was just like a lot to take in at once. Yeah. And then about the lawyers, they're okay. They get you out of trouble and stuff. And stuff. Yeah, but they're still suspicious. It's very suspicious. Like I have trust issues. It's hard for me to trust someone with information. Yeah.
Okay, so about the law, I feel like it's okay and great because for your business to flourish, you have to follow the law, and there's some things you have to do and others which you don't have to do. And for the lawyers, they're okay because in a business you feel secure if you have lawyers, and they also protect your business.
Okay. I'm okay with okay.
For me, the law, it's very boring because, like, personally,
Okay.
personally, the course I'm doing, it deals a lot with land, and so we learn about land laws, land acts. They're so boring, very boring. In fact, they're hard for me to actually learn about them. So to me, it's not interesting. But lawyers, I think we are besties because I have a friend who is a lawyer, and yeah, most of the work he's the one who does it. So it's good for me. Yeah, yeah, boring.
Okay.
Okay, I'd say for the law, I think you should have put something like necessary there about what I feel about the law. I'd say, yeah, okay, because I'll say okay because it's necessary. I can imagine if we didn't have the law and then we come here and then you have like 10 Aliana Naturals and then there's nothing you can do about it because there's no law that's saying this is a registered business because this name is registered. We can't have another name as this. I just imagine how it would be. And then what I think about lawyers, I'll say okay, because we need them. We go to lawyers a lot for advice to help us get out of trouble. So it's just the trick is get someone you trust as a lawyer. That's the trick. Just get someone you trust and then also be faithful in your payments. Because if you're not faithful in your dealings with them, then now suspicious and con man comes in. And then now suspicious and con man, like people, okay, they're bad people, but most of the time, I'm not saying they are, there are bad people. There are bad people, but sometimes you find that people do you the way you do them. Yeah, so that's what I'd say.
Any responses online? Suspicious, a bit. Okay. Thieves. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay.
Whereas for me, at business, they have helped me unpack a lot about law, especially in business.
Wow. Okay. So what I'm getting is that there's a love hate. Oh, so yeah, there's another response here.
So I'm thinking about when people just say, see the bad part of the lawyers. What about those advocates who even volunteer to, for a case for someone who is not able to? And as well, about that, okay, boring something, I may say as well, it will depend because um, if you stay without the social contracts and also the copyrights for some other kind of business, you end up finding that you produce information, but it never benefit you. So they are.
We are besties. People you need to have in your like speed dial, always have a lawyer. And not only as business people, we become even more important. I'm not blowing our horn collectively. I'm just saying that look at where we've come from. We're saying that your entire business journey has legal issues. That's what we are saying. So you either need to know the law, like 100, like, you need, it needs to be here, or know someone who knows the law. But what you're communicating to me based on this scale is that it's hard to find someone you trust. Yeah. And I think it's a challenge to HerHustle to bring us on board from a more practical perspective. As I said, what we're trying to do here, 4 years isn't even able to do. But having someone in the system, in the pipeline, who can be there to answer your questions, walk with you, do some clarifications, prepare some NDAs that are a bit simpler, non-disclosure agreements that are simpler, contracts, guidelines on how to do a contract yourself. That's something that needs to be considered, because all through the hustle, you will have legal issues, right? So I need to hear a challenge accepted. Anyway. Hiya. So that's what you guys have told me. But let me tell you the reality on the ground. This is who we are. This is who lawyers are, guys. I really wanted to use this slide. You guys are saying we are party poopers, right? The business lady there talked about how, so much English, so many words. We just so much. So you think we're party poopers. And also business people tend to think, and I've seen it even in my day-to-day practice, that business people tend to think that lawyers are slow. They are too, we just want to lengthen our process. We just want to just include paperwork. We are party poopers. But guys, I'm here to tell you today, we are the Avengers, okay? We are superheroes with a specific set of skills that you need, okay? Guys, if there's anything you keep after this, it is this, okay? What we actually do, save the world. That's what we actually do on a daily. How so? Because of this one thing called risk. We are risk managers, guys. The Avengers are risk managers, okay? And that's what lawyers do. We anticipate the problems that you're going to face, and we tell you, watch out, this is how you can resolve this issue. This is where, something can be fixed. That's why we are your besties. For those who've said besties, that's why we are okay. We might be suspicious now and again, but at the core of what we do, we are risk managers. At the core of what law does, it's that it anticipates risk and provides solutions. So risk is a big word. My question to you is, what risks do you face as a business person? I feel like this ties in a little bit. I may not want to dwell on it, but it ties in a little bit with when we talked about legal issues you face. It's a bit risky, but I still want to hear, because some risks are very emotive, especially people who are operating online. What happens if you allow pay on delivery, then you deliver, but no one pays? Is that not a risk? It's a risk, okay? Some of these risks are more also business than they are law, because you should pay. Ideally, you should pay. But then if you don't, that could be a business modeling issue. So you decide, I'm not going to take pay on delivery, come to my shop, you pay there, That's one of the business ways you resolve it. But at the heart, that's a contract still. And every contract has parties, and parties have responsibilities. So if my responsibility to you is to bring you the skincare products, then you pay, right? So what are some of the risks that you face, maybe high level? I also want to hear some of the emotional ones. That one that just hurt your feelings. Guys, this is a safe space. You can trust me. I'm not suspicious. Just, share with me, like, what are some of the hurtful risks you faced? Yeah.
I'm still healing from this. So I was running a business, my first business. when COVID time, a lot of people were selling clothes online. I was in that trend of people and I was making good money. But I was broke. I was a broke campus student, and my cousin happens to have landed a job. So when she saw what I was doing, I was making money, she was like, I can chip in with money. So not thinking twice, not even thinking about building a foundation in our partnership, I was like, oh yes, what I've been praying for is here. So we did business well for a while. And then at the beginning of, like, the business was like 5 months old. Yeah, we were making good money. And then in January, one day I wake up, she has left all of our suppliers groups, no explanation, no nothing. That's how my business ended. So I can't sue her because there's nothing legal. I just have to heal and re-strategize. So yeah, that's the most emotional thing I've gone through.
Just left.
I think just to confirm, it's not me. It's not that. That's not Splat now. But anyways, I think for me the biggest risk, especially with this agency that we are going into, because the goal is to get into the metaverse. The blockchain is still unregulated in most countries. I think it's only regulated, I think, in 2 so far. So I'm kind of scared, I won't lie. I'm a very risk project, but I'm a person of let's do it. What's the worst that will happen? But that's really scaring me because I do not know how, and even if there's anything, if anything goes bad, if there's any protection in any way that can, I don't even know if it's legal to even start such a business in Kenya. So I don't know how that goes. So yeah, I think for me that's a genuine concern. Yeah.
Hey, I have so many risks. So we're going to start with maybe a client makes an order, but then they don't pay, or they ask to pay on delivery. And then when it's delivered, maybe they delay the payment with like 2 weeks. There's someone who did that. Yeah. Yeah. That's one. Secondly, the delivery guy. If let's say you had like let me just give an example. Yesterday, was it yesterday? No, on Thursday, the delivery guy, you had a contract where not really a contract, but you had a rate card that you are following, and then he broke the rate card that day. I was like, it's cool, it's okay. He broke, like he went overboard because we used those rate cards to send to clients. Yeah. So he broke the rate card and I was like, it's okay, it's fine. You do you, but all the best in life. Another risk I faced emotionally, there's a person who I did for very many queen cakes, very many. And they actually asked for a discount and we gave them. And then when delivered, they were like, they're too small. And I'm like, this is a standard everywhere. Yeah.
So that was like a quality issue with the product.
No, yeah. Yeah. They felt, yeah. No, not really. Hopefully they were to become one. But then when they said that, I was like, it's not worth it taking more from you because every time we'll be saying the size, and it's the same throughout. Yeah.
Okay. Any last one? We'll come to the online one.
As I am just starting with this journey in the excuse me, skincare world, I came across a video where someone had gone to a spa and they went in, their skin was looking okay. Then they got a facial, and then like the next day the skin was swollen and burnt and everything. So now I got genuinely concerned about my products. They are good, we've tested them and everything, they're okay. But what if you use them, for example, and you get a reaction? Then you will come back to me because I was using St. Ives and I was okay. I just started on your product and now I have this reaction. I feel like that's very, yeah.
Okay, since we're in the same line, so it's always important to let clients know because a lot of clients will come to buy because of the reviews they've seen you post. But it's important that when they are buying from you, you let them know that our skins react differently with different products. It may work for me, and because it worked for me doesn't mean it will work for ABCD. And then when you are checking your ingredients, also ask your clients. I got this, by the way. There was a client who was allergic to honey, and she bought my product, and she's highly allergic to honey, and our main ingredient is honey. And then she goes and reacts to it. So I'm sitting down and I'm like, what happened? And then now I go into research and I realize that if somebody is that extremely allergic to honey, the product can affect them. So it's also important, before you sell to a client, try to analyze your ingredients, which ones are more reactive, and then ask them, do you have like milk? If you have milk as an ingredient, are you lactose intolerant? Have you ever tried using a product that has perhaps milk as an ingredient? So if they agree to buy after you've had all that discussions, then now it's not, if they say, let me just try, it's not up to you. But it's also very important to let them know that our skins react differently with products. It may work or it may not work.
So the term there legally should be disclaimer. You give a disclaimer, but the risk there is that is with your customers as a potential relationship that presents some risk. Yeah. So you, for the most part, the risks are in all these spaces. Basically, how you deal with your customers at the point of commencement of operations. How do you deal with the team and partnerships that you establish to get your idea going? Money. I've not had people talk so much about money, but this is also a risk. Maybe you're not coming from the investor part. Maybe you're the guys who've lost someone's money, but that's why it's not, but it's a risk. You could invest, you could give someone money. Oh no, the restaurateur told us that he started a business and then he put in money, and then all of a sudden, he's being pushed out of the business. He became he allegedly, I don't, what term did you use? He apparently became broke, and now his partners are like, what are you bringing to the table? Yeah. So he's made to sign some documents, and all of a sudden, even the little that he put in, he's not getting back. So that's also a risk to us in business. You could be apparently broke, and when you're apparently broke and you're working with someone, you start becoming a load, and they want to kick you out, etc. So there are risks everywhere. From the legal eye, there are so many things, so many risks you should be careful and be, to sort of anticipate. So yeah, law adds to the business. There are guys online. Okay, yes. Yeah. That's a common story when it comes to online products. Yeah. There's someone saying vehemently, do not deliver without payment.
If they're not paying, I would rather miss that one client who doesn't want to pay before delivery than go through a loss. Yes, I'm a purely online business for now. So for me, it's pay before delivery. Ama pay when we meet. I give you, you give me money. Kama uko mbali and you want it to be delivered, just pay before so that we don't go through back and forth.
At the risk of extending this conversation, you realize law does relationship management. So as a lawyer, I cannot look just at your perspective. Let me include the customer's perspective. As a customer, even better, I'll ask, there's so many online businesses. In fact, a small story. I know I'll run over my time, but I'll try and expedite. So I saw a page on, as ladies do, shop on Instagram. I saw a page and they were selling doll shoes. And the prices were abnormal. Like they were just amazing, right? The average standard doll shoe now is going, a good pair is going to for about 1,500. Like a really, you've really walked into Star Mall, between 1,300 and between 1,000 and 15, you can get a good pair of shoes. But these doll shoes, which look really good, are going for 850 Kenya shillings. I was like, fine, I could reach out, but I have some time on Saturday. Let me do a lap. Let me go check them out. They have a location. They have a number, a phone number to call. They have a well-stocked Instagram page. But the photos are not like on African feet or anything. So I'm like, okay, fine. Let me just go check them out. You know, it's always just the shoe on a white background. It's never the shoe and a person who looks like someone you know, nothing like that. So I decided, let me do a lap. I go. It was in one of those buildings in town. So I go. I'm like, hey, it's those ones that have A, B, C, D. You know. So I'm like, guys, where's D? Where's beside D? And then they're like D. I'm like D2 or B2. I don't remember. They're like, hey, B2 is upstairs. I'm like, what? First of all, what's that attitude? Anyway, I go upstairs. I walk into one of the shops where allegedly the B2 should be. So I'm like, I'm not seeing shoes. I'm not seeing shoes. I'm seeing the lady was selling second-hand clothes. So I go and I'm asking, hi, is there a B2? They sell shoes. They are called X. They're like, that's a corn shop. I'm like, what? There's no shop like that. It does not exist in this stall. Many people come asking for the shop, and there's no shop like that. So maybe my legal eye forced me to go check it out. But can you imagine how many people have ordered? And the lady now started to tell me the experiences she's had trying to explain to people there's no shop like that. So she was telling me, in fact, there's a lady who came all the way from Mombasa and was coming to check out the shop because she'd bought from the shop and then the people had ghosted her. So she was coming to see the shop and find out why did I pay 3,000. Imagine a shoe is going at 850. This person has put in 3,000, 5,000 for the shoes. Imagine how many. In fact, probably they were buying to sell. There's no shop. And so the lady went on and on telling me how many stories she's had. These people are so good on Instagram. They post receipts. Like, like courier receipts, like delivered through what courier, So you can see from the customer where anyone who tells me DM for price, anyone who tells me pay before delivery, I'm just like, really? So again, the beautiful intersection of business and law is that one is not able to stand without the other. So you have to still make business considerations in as much as you're making legal ones. So in as much as you're thinking, how best can I make back my money, a business consideration, how legally can you make back your money? What is the customer, the other person in your relationship thinking about? What is your supplier, your manufacturer? What are they looking at in this relationship? Because that's the only way you balance rights and responsibilities. So, yes. What does paid badly mean? Business considerations, guys. The law is just here to be like, we can help you, but you still also have to make business considerations. Yeah.
Thank you. So mine is a different perspective. I hear many people are selling goods, but for me, I sell a service. So I am the good. So I have to go to and I run an online business. I do house calls. So I don't have like a mobile salon. So from your explanation, yes. So I come to your place. Yeah. So yeah, it's really picking up. But as she has given an example of hers, it's really unregulated. So you can go to somebody's house, do her hair, and it's like, it's never happened to me, but these are risks. Like, hey, my mother has such phobias. She asked me how I survive. You go to somebody's house, you do their hair, they refuse to pay, or you go to their house and maybe security concerns, risks. I go to your house, something happens. Will you compensate me, or something of that sort? Yeah, so for this online business and these services, not only for us with hair, kuna watu fanya kazi za nyumba, like, and you've seen such issues. If I go there and somebody hurts me or harms me, what action can I take here? How can the law protect me?
There's something I wanted to ask on no refund, no exchange. I'm so sure you've seen a lot of businesses like that. For me, for me, I do exchanges, and at extreme levels I do refunds. But sir, how do you deal with clients who they don't want exchange, they don't want to be refunded, they just want to tarnish your page, such things, and it's not your fault.
One of the things that should come out, in as much as lawyers are avengers, we are superheroes with a specific set of skills. Some of our issues are social. I hope you can see that from that perspective. And sometimes the law, it's a bit of a task to go to social issues at that level, right? So one of the things you'll discover as we go on the issue of contracts is that there's an offer and there's an acceptance of said offer. So if I offer you something and I say no refund, no exchanges, and I take it, I have in effect accepted whatever you have offered me in that state. So the beauty and the ease with written documents is that we can always say, in this document, I said, I will not refund, I will not exchange. So what are you telling me? The same person could be like, but in this document, you said you'll deliver an item of clothing that does not have holes, that will serve the purpose for which I have bought it for, for which I have bought it. So there's that mutuality in exchange of rights and responsibilities. Now, there are challenges, and I feel like it's good it's expressed to always tell your clients, yeah, listen, me, I don't do refunds, I don't do exchanges, but my product will be foolproof. Or under these circumstances only will I do an exchange. So you can't come back and tell me this dress is not nice. Just say, does it fit or it doesn't? I'll exchange if it doesn't fit. And I will only exchange. So it's also not good to take some hardline stances from a business perspective, because they become very difficult to fight back. So it's good to make some leg room, or to give some leg room when it comes to some of those clauses or some of those issues, so that you can give yourself space to play within that range and still make your money, because at the end of the day, you're a business person. So yeah, disclaimer with the law is that it doesn't solve every single issue, especially sometimes social issues. You could serve someone with the muffins and you've done everything. This is how you sell them, but they're still like, they're not even tasty. They're not. So what do you do there? That's not illegal. I'll sue you unless it's defamation. Again, we can go into that. But yeah, where will you take one person who's telling you to your face that your things are not tasty? Or umenishuka vibaya, I mean, you see, like, what exactly do you do sometimes, and what contracts do? And part of importance of contracts is they sort of they make it clear what your rights and obligations are. Some of you think the contract must be written, but given some of the circumstances we are under, we don't get the opportunity to write every single thing. So when you walk into someone's house and you say, I'm going to plait this sort of style on your head, that's still part of that contract process. You may not write it, yeah, but it is in your best interest to apply the principles of contract to that interaction. So if they come with a photo and say nataka kushukwa hizi, I hope all of us can understand Swahili before I go on a I want to look like this. So the best thing for you to do is, I can't make you look exactly like that. Have you ever had that thing about sometimes you're buying a dress but it doesn't come with a body, or you're coming with I'm buying a shoe but it doesn't come with a foot. So if your foot doesn't work, so it's good to say, okay, so I can try and get there, but it's not going to look like perfect. I know it sounds like you're diminishing your service, but sometimes managing expectations is what contracts does, right? If you're so good at something, in fact, I'd advise take your own photo of something you've done similar to what they're asking for and say, this is how it would look. So are you okay with the one that I have made? Because this one for sure I've made with my hands. And then they can be like, yeah, I'm okay with that. And then you can proceed. So some of those ways, again, it's a mixture of understanding what is under a contract and using it in day-to-day business situations. So the law adds to the business story by managing your risks. The law, and by a great extension, your bestie, foresees the risk and provides solutions. Law manages risk in the operations and relationships of a business. There's a quote here, I love it. It says, if you don't invest in risk management, it doesn't matter what business you're in, it's risky business. So it's like 2 times your risk because business is inherently risky. Now, if you don't invest in risk management, you're adding on another risk. So you're in a risky business. So it's 2 times the risk. So invest in some of those online solutions that give you contract templates. Invest in your friends who you occasionally ask for legal advice from. Talk about how you will remunerate them because you're investing in risk management. All right, so the scope of today's conversation, we have gone everywhere. Now we want to come to where we are supposed to be. We're going to talk about legal separation with your business entity. We're also going to talk about contracts and relationship management, and then a bit on rights and responsibilities. However, in terms of legal issues, this is a scope of the legal issues. Yeah, again, challenge to HerHustle. We can cover each and every single issue with more time. Yeah, but today my instructions were clear. I'm limited to up to here, but corporate governance is key. I'll allude to it somewhere. Taxes, branding, and intellectual property. A lot of your questions are there. I feel like it's important to have a session dedicated, a masterclass dedicated to intellectual property and branding. Business operations, permits, and licenses for those who, to do business, you will need them. Data protection is a key issue. So for us who are DMing you, for products, you have my number, I've paid through M-Pesa, you have my name, can you, in the event you want to become an MCA, can you start by using those contacts to reach out to? It's all under data protection, and you as a business, you have certain obligations when handling personal data, depending on the scope of your business in terms of size, and I'm praying and I hope all your businesses get to become multi-billion-dollar businesses, because I'll be like, when they started, I was there. Your Fenty, I'll be like, I advised her a few times. Anyway, so data protection is a key consideration. I am an ESG enthusiast, so I love the idea of social issues in business, corporate governance issues in business, environmental issues in businesses, those who are in manufacturing. How do you dispose your products? Why not put your products in a paper because paper degenerates or something like that? Such questions. And the thing with business people, you tend to think that you will wait to a certain point to start making some considerations. My advice to you is preempt. Think about it. Think about your environmental angle. Think about how you interact with people, how you employ your people, what kind of rights you accord them, because that's part of a social issue in your business. So business needs to be responsible. Think about branding. Think about doing a business name if you're a sole proprietor. Think about actually formalizing, because you protect your business name. After that, once you do a logo, register it as a trademark. That's still part of protection of all these things are legal issues that you need to consider at any point. You may not have the capital as at now to register a company and then do a trademark and then find someone to do it. But 3 things, yeah? 1, the digitization systems or digitization of systems in the country have made it possible for you to do some of these things yourself. Now, I'm kicking myself out of the mix because I'm a business person. Sorry, got distracted. I'm putting myself aside as a middleman, but I'm saying that if it's too expensive, the way things are set up now, you can do it yourself. So don't shy away from learning to do it yourself, right? Second thing is that there's information everywhere. Information everywhere. You can read about it. You can find out. There's information everywhere, right? So invest in your knowledge. Invest in those issues. 1 minute. Yes.
Regina is asking, when you register a business name,
Mhm.
are you required to pay taxes because you need your KRA to the
You pay your taxes as your income. It becomes part of your income. So you pay as your taxes with a business name. Yeah?
To add on that, do you start paying immediately after
You've registered.
even if you're not generating money?
That's now a consideration with the Carry portal. You can say I did not make any money, and you have books of record keeping is important to have your books of account check out and say, yeah, I didn't make any money. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even for trademarking, is it also online? The process of trademarking, maybe your logo and all that?
No, you'd have to do some applications at KIPI, the Industrial Property Institute. You'd have to do it there. But yeah, not yet as digitized as we'd hope for it to be. So before I take any more questions, let me just go through what we have, and then we can wrap it up because I'm realizing we are behind time. I could do this for long, guys. So yeah. Anyway, so legal separation can be entity or operational. What I mean by entity, some of you have already talked about it. Are you a business name? Are you a company? Are you a partnership? That's the sort of separation we're talking about. How you separate, or what the separation is saying, and companies do this very well. This is a company and this is you. No, those are two different things, yeah? This is a company. It has its own life. I'm just, say, a shareholder within that company. Or this is, and so my unit of ownership, how you show that you own your company is by a share. Okay, so you hear that a lot, shares, just shows you own. So if I have 20 shares in a company that has 100 shares, I just have 20% of the ownership of the company. So it separates you such that the property of the company is the company's. Your property is yours. There's a difference there. The contracts that you get into with the company are not you. It's not you as the person in the contract, it's the company. And sometimes the distinction becomes difficult because you're the only one in the company. But you have to realize there is a distinction. There's a distinction between you, the company's assets, the company's contracts, everything to do with the company and your life. That separation is great. Why? Because you limit your liability to your 20%. I'm about to get into teacher mode briefly. So say your company, you have 100 shares in the company, and out of the 100, you own 20 shares. If the company was to go really bad and you make losses and you owe certain people money, you're only liable for that debt based on your ownership of that company. So to that 20%. Yeah, just that 20%. As opposed to if you, as a sole proprietor, you're just a business name, if you get a debt, it is yours. They can come for your house, they can come for your car, they can come for you. Okay? But for the company, they'd have to come for the company. They ask, okay, well, what are the company's assets? Does the company have a house? Does the company have a car? Yes, it does. We take those to repay our debt. So that separation is important because it limits to what extent you're liable. Some heavy legal words, but in essence, asset partitioning is that belongs to the company, that belongs to you. You've just created a boundary between the assets of the company and your assets. Okay, the lines can be a bit blurred in practice, and that's where operational separation is important. The things that belong to the company are not yours. Don't take that company car to go for a party. Like, you need to separate. The company car does, maybe I've started too far, but yeah, the company car does what the company needs it to do. The company phone does calls that only have to do with the company, right? That separation is very important for you because also it becomes easier for record keeping. Keep your records neatly. So if you put in 10,000 into the company and then you take out 50 because you wanted to get your hair done, go for a holiday, how do you account for that? Remember that the company is a different, entirely different person. So how do you account for that in the case that things go wrong, or how do you pay back into the company? In essence, you're you're taking from the same thing you're putting in. I don't know if that's coming out clearly. So that operational separation is very important. Financially, in terms of decision making, how do you decide? Corporate governance issues fall within this. How do you make your decision? Who do you ask? Okay, I want to import. What do you guys think? How is that process? It creates some degree of checks and balances. Advisors, yeah? Reporting and record keeping. Financial accountability. So if you want to justify your taxes, for instance, how the company money ni gani, inaanzia wapi na yako inaanzia wapi. We go back to legal separation where partners, the money made by a partnership is essentially the money made by the partner. So it becomes income tax. Okay. For a company, there's company tax for whatever is made by the company. So the company makes profits. Then you tax based on the profits the company has made. So for you, the only tax you'd pay is if out of the profits you're paid something, you're paid what is called a dividend. So if you're paid that, it becomes your income, and then you have to pay tax on that income. But the company has its own taxes to pay. Right? And that's where it's important to keep your records in check. How much money came in, what went out. Mismanagement for sole proprietors, you're paid after you've done someone's hair and you say, hey, what, I've been paid 2,500. You don't even start counting how much were the braids, how much was your transport. No, you're not thinking about that. You're like, gosh, I need to go for lunch. I need to pay my rent. I need to, so there's no way of breaking down and saying, this is how much I made from my business. You just know you're working consistently, but you can't tell how much your service is making, right? So it's important to separate and say, this pocket has money from the partner or from my sole proprietorship. And then this is everything else, such that you can account and say 10,000 walked into this. I spent this on transport, this on braids, and this is how much I value my service. It also helps you in creating a price for your service. So you don't just say, I'm going to plate you for 1,000 bob. You've done your math. Braids are this much. This is how much I need for transport. This is how much my time costs. Yeah, so that separation, very, very important. You're also able to, there's something called perpetual succession. Once you leave your company, the company is still there. In fact, if you registered it formally, it still exists. Whether you care about it, think about it, or you don't, it's still there because it has a life of its own. You can even sell your share. What the guys tried to make you do is to sell your shares, you leave the company running with them. That's a beautiful thing with companies. Partnerships, sometimes if you decide to stop operating, God forbid you die, the partnership, depending on the type of partnership, because there are also several types of partnerships. So it's a very key consideration to make as you're formalizing. And these are the advantages. You're also able to do things, what I call layering. So you can have a company owning another company, and that company, you own shares of that company. So you're able to stack up companies together. And you hear this a lot, especially it's a key thing when it comes to fraud and wash and all those things. I'm not saying that's the direction you should go. I'm saying, but that's what usually happens. So it's a company owns a company, which owns a company, which owns another that is owned by you. It's a whole thread, but there are also advantages to that because each company has a life of its own. Each company can have its own assets. Each company can make its own decisions. So for a big enterprise, it serves you to sort of have that. And in fact, all of them have a limitation of liability. All of them. Disadvantages, I know you've seen this. It's expensive. To register a company, I believe, is 10,650. So it can be a costly initial investment. A partnership, likewise, I think a limited liability partnership is quite costly, 20K. I'm not too sure. It can appear expensive, but in the long run, guys, it saves you a lot. Tax obligations, accounting for the company, accounting for yours, accounting for the partnership, and translating that to your income can also be a disadvantage. Tedious procedures and compliance requirements. Business people like simple, quick things. And sometimes as a lawyer, I'm like, relax, let's do this the way it needs to be done. But for a business person, decisions are always, requiring to be made. Like you're selling now, this one needs to be delivered here. You need a rider, you're making contracts as you go, and it's all happening so quickly. And sometimes the law comes in to bring so many issues, a lot of paperwork, though I feel like the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. The separation, sometimes you could lose control. Longer decision-making processes if you have a board of advisors, who longer decision-making, costly to keep records and keep reporting. I'll skip over our question, but you need to think about your legal documents because we are going to talk about contracts. What is a contract? I feel like we all have a basic understanding of what a contract is. For me, what is important in this is understanding that contracts have to do with rights and responsibilities, period. So it needs to be clear who you are, what you're doing in this relationship, yeah, and the beauty of writing a contract down, especially if you are contracting a manufacturer, for instance, it's important to have that paperwork. If you've borrowed money, it's important to have that paperwork because they are wartime documents. That's the best way to put it. Mkikosana, there'll be something to say, you didn't do this. Not someone who can come up and say, oh, you gave me money. I see, you're my friend. That was a friendship sort of arrangement. Ama, you're my boyfriend, you're my girlfriend. Tunalipiana nini? Sini mapenzi. Well, you are giving someone a loan. And then they're telling you here you are their boyfriends, you their girlfriend. Wartime documents. When things go bad, you need that written contract because it manages your risk, right? Especially when it has to do with people, when it has to do with things. You need to have that disclaimer on your product bottle saying our skins are different, they react differently, and it could go either way for you. So try it out, but no, it's still part of contracting. That's a contract term. Sometimes contracts don't take the shape of like many papers. It can be a statement, it can be actions implied. But I advise it's always good to have it written down. It records what you agreed. Very important. Sikusema hivyo, nilisema hivi. Avoid those things. Just say, you are bringing me these products on this day and they look like this and they are like this. And I will pay you this way through your bank this much. Simple. If you don't do that, we can always be like, but you said you would do it this way. If you do it even in better, you can say, I think we need to revise our terms. I think I'm doing a great job and I need to make more for it. Contracts are important because they record agreed terms. Certainty is a key aspect of your contracts. You need to be clear. What do you want out of a relationship? How is it going to go? Needs to be clear. And also it provides remedies for non-performance. So if you don't deliver, if someone doesn't pay, what happens? And I think with the hope, sometimes it's good to look at it from, you will get to a place where you're handling a lot of purchases, you've done it online. So what are the arrangements? What are the arrangements between you and Instagram, for instance, if you're selling on Instagram? You need to read those terms and policies because they could say something that you don't know, and they will affect your business greatly because the terms are there, they have been recorded. You just clicked okay, okay if you agree, okay, and you don't know what has been said. Go through your contracts, and these contracts are there. Are you in a building? You're paying rent. Are you borrowing someone? That's a document you could have. Are you selling something? A sale of goods agreement? Is there a guarantee? Are you meeting standards? Are these products fit? You can have them all in your contract. So contracts are not hard. You make them every day. You just need to decide how you're going to go about it. Are you going to write them depending on the scale? What terms are certain? Are you going to communicate them on an email? I recommend paper trail, to be very fair. Paper trail, very important. Emails, make your clients do orders on text, on WhatsApp. You can always revert to that when they say, as for blueberry. No. Your text says vanilla. Thank you very much. You see, it makes that's contracting. It's not tons and tons of papers. It's sometimes the email. but it's good if you have the paper. It's good if you have a nice detailed document. Contracts are closely related to your rights and responsibilities. So in essence, your very existence, I liked what Steve said, social contracts. By being here, you mentioned social contracts at some point. By being here, you're making a contract with something, someone, some situation. So in terms of your duties, it's pretty straightforward. You have a duty to the company, especially when you do the legal separation. Your duty, if you're a director, to make decisions that are for the company, okay? For its shareholders, for the well-being of that business. For your shareholders, make decisions that will bring them money. Bring yourself money. Sometimes you're the decision maker, you're the shareholder, everything. So you have a responsibility to that structure of your business to do what pertains to making it successful. Your employees. One of the things I felt I really should mention is when you come to legal separation, for those who have employees, if their work is to sell to customers, don't make them pick your laundry. Don't make them, send them to buy you lunch. Like, does that have to do with the company? Does that have to do with the business? Are they employed by the business or you? Are they your personal assistant or are they the company's employees? I know, I don't know how many of you have been employed, but that's a really key issue for you who hopefully your businesses will start employing people. Yeah. So rights and responsibilities, you have a responsibility to your employees as a business. You have to your service providers, to your suppliers, to your the people handling your logistics, that rider. You have a responsibility to pay them on time, to communicate the rate card clearly, to walk them through that rate card. Those are some of your responsibilities. To the country, to pay your taxes. It's a very, very important responsibility to your customers to sell them products that make sense, that are good for them. Don't put expired things. Those are responsibilities. To the society, to your environment, part of your responsibilities. They come with the contract, some of them explicitly, others socially, because of the context you operate in. What are your rights? I'm not hearing a whoop whoop about rights because that's where you benefit. But you have a right to make profit from your business, so you need to structure it accordingly. You have a right to make the decisions with regards to your business. You have a right to appoint and remove the people who are making decisions in your business. We call them directors, depending on your structure, of who you are in the entity or how your entity is structured. You have that right. You have a right to hire and fire management and employees. You have a right to say, I don't think we're aligned. You can go your way, I will go mine, but you owe them certain duties to ensure that you do it in a legal manner. Sawa. You don't just wake up and be like, you're fired. You have to, there are things you need to do. So in terms of rights and responsibilities, some emerge from contracts, some emerge from your existence as a business in the society, others, to the country as a member of this country, and so on. And as well, you have your rights. So I will give you homework. You're a nice lot. No one has booed, nothing, okay? Take this down. So, homework number 1, evaluate the legal risks in your business. What are they? Luckily, we've discussed some of them here. So, it would be great to, I'd advise if you could write them down. I could liaise with Rosa and get whatever you write down, and then we'll work out a way how we can respond or how we can talk. But yeah, evaluate the legal risk in your business. 2, discuss the solutions. Can it be solved by a contract? Can it be solved by a bestie? Can it be solved under the law? Yeah? Or what kind of solution does it require? So discuss solutions to those risks. Then, what are you going to do to separate yourself from your business going forward? So, are you going to register a company? Are you going to start keeping records of accounts? What are you going to start to do to make sure as an entity you're separate from whatever your business is doing, and as an operationally, you're different from the company or the business. And I use here company lightly because we also haven't had a chance to really go through the different business entities. But, it could be a company, it could be a partnership. And within a company, it could be a company limited by shares, which is what most business people do. Or a partnership, it could be a limited partnership, limited liability partnership for services. It could be a general partnership. So there are so many in between, but I would really love to hear how you feel you could separate yourself and what kind of separation you feel you need with your business. And lastly, identify one contract you need in your business today. Actually, can I hear? I don't know, time is over. 6 minutes. Could I hear shouts? What kind of contract you feel you need, or which relationship in your business do you feel you want a written contract for? Yes.
As a digital marketing agency, there is a contract that needs to be signed when I take in a client. Taking over their social media, so that's a
Yes, like an engagement agreement or a consultancy agreement of some sort. So you need it for your business today. Okay. Any other that yes? A sale agreement for whatever you're selling, a sale agreement, yeah? Supply agreement. Great. Last one. Good. You've learned from your rate card situation. Yeah, something to say, deliver on this sort of terms, and I will pay you on this kind of arrangement. Yeah, great. So do them. Yeah, sorry.
I have a question, but now this is not in terms of business. Maybe it's in terms of business in regards to the employer. Can you allow me to ask?
Yeah.
Does the law can somebody set up a company and then now in this company hire people and make people sign contracts explaining that blah blah blah, we are a non-profit, so we don't pay. I don't know, in terms of law and employment, is that legal?
Not paying people.
Yeah, we are a non-profit.
Yeah, no. So
it's written in contract.
No. It's in contract, but why would again? This is where the nature of entity makes sense. How you are company limited by shares? Ideally, that's a profit-making entity. So their company may be limited by guarantee. So they are a non-profit making entity, right? Yeah, you can be enlisted as a volunteer.
But it's not volunteer.
You're working. Okay, so what is work? What is okay? We're going into a bit more, but in essence,
if you put what you are doing there
elsewhere
to a different company or organization, it is work. Not at volunteering.
So again, I probably have to look at the situation a bit more because non-profit making entities still pay people. So like NGOs still pay people. But the short story is that you can be brought in as a volunteer. So you agree to volunteer your services. However many the services are, or however tedious they are, you can choose to volunteer your services and get into an agreement to say, I'll volunteer for this much, for this time, or these are the terms of this volunteer situation. So it's possible to have volunteers come on board, but it depends again on the setup and what that document is saying. Yeah. So yeah, it's not impossible and it's not wrong to have volunteers.
It's not volunteer.
The document says you will be paid.
The document says you want to be paid, but your title of work is in that document.
Yeah, you could be a titled volunteer. You could be you could be an unpaid intern. Unpaid internship. It's unpaid, but you're an intern. Yeah. I think the other thing you need to realize with contracts, it's about weighing your terms. It's about a contract is a bargain. So you are bargaining for what works for you. And there's nothing wrong with reverting that document and saying, this part about this contract, I don't like.
Okay, when it comes to contracts, I understand the company is supposed to have their
Mhm.
copy.
We are here.
And somebody as an employee, please allow me to ask this. Somebody as an employee has
Yeah.
their copy.
Uh-huh.
But now this comes where they don't want to give you back your copy. As much as they're going to pay and blah, blah, blah. But whatever you sign, that's theirs. And they're not giving out copies. Is it correct?
No, it's not. What should happen is that you should get a copy signed by them.
Because even if it's internship, I know
Yeah.
you have your copy.
Yeah.
Now this comes like they are not doing like when you ask for your copy, it's just
So the situation here now is that we may have to take this discussion offline because there are guys online and our time is up. But yeah, I'd be willing to take more questions briefly. But yeah, we can wrap it up here. I had one last slide to show you guys. I will show you here. Lawyers are the Avengers. Do you agree? After today, don't you think I sort of channel Tony Stark, Iron Man? Lastly, be careful. In the words of Captain America, our lead Avenger, be careful. Look out for each other. I'm looking out for you as in this discussion. This is the fight of our lives and we're going to win. Okay? So don't be intimidated by the law. Don't be intimidated by lawyers. Don't be intimidated by the risks you're facing because we are going to win. Whatever it takes, good luck. All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you guys online. Yeah, I hope we'll meet again and have a bigger, more continuous discussion. Hiya. Thanks.